The Five Dynasties and Ten Kingdoms period, 907 to 979, was a complex chapter in Chinese history, spanning 7 tumultuous decades of constant conflict, fragmented power structures, and the emergence of numerous independent states. Though it was a time of division and warfare, this era also gave rise to significant achievements in culture, economics, and thought, setting the foundation for the eventual reunification and flourishing of the Song Dynasty. Following the fall of the Tang Dynasty, centralized power nearly vanished, creating a political vacuum where various warlords rose to prominence. Among these forces, the most powerful established 5 successive dynasties in the north: Later Liang, Later Tang, Later Jin, Later Han, and Later Zhou. Each of these dynasties was short-lived and often overthrown by competing warlords. Meanwhile, in the south, 10 independent kingdoms, such as Southern Tang, Wuyue, and Min, managed to remain relatively stable and prosperous. The contrast between the north and the south not only painted a vivid picture of differing political landscapes, but also illustrated the varying developmental strategies of these regions. In the north, the power structure of each of the 5 dynasties was heavily influenced by local warlords who held actual power. Although the northern emperors theoretically held supreme authority, they often struggled to control territories beyond the capital, where warlords ruled autonomously and often ignored the central government's decrees. This decentralized power structure led to a political environment fraught with rebellions and frequent regime changes. Some generals could even seize power and establish new dynasties, as seen when Li Kongsu founded the Later Tang and Shi Jingtang created the Later Jin with support from the Khitan Empire. Foreign intervention, particularly by the Khitan, added further complexity to the political landscape during this period. To secure their rule, some northern dynasties sought military support from the Khitan, a powerful nomadic empire to the north. However, the cost was significant. The Later Jin ceded the Yenyun region, a valuable northern territory, to the Khitan. This concession stirred deep resentment among the Chinese populace and eroded their confidence in the ruling dynasties. The Khitan's influence extended beyond military support, as they intervened in the northern dynasty's internal affairs, further weakening the Chinese ruler's legitimacy. The northern populace, already burdened by heavy taxes to fund the military, grew increasingly discontented with their government's dependency on foreign powers. While the north was ravaged by warfare and instability, the south found a unique path to development. States like Southern Tang and Wuyue chose to maintain peaceful relations with the northern dynasties, even paying tribute to avoid direct military confrontations. Consequently, these southern states could focus on economic and cultural development, expanding trade networks and fostering relations with neighboring countries, including Japan, the Korean Peninsula, and Southeast Asia. Southern port cities like Fuzhou and Hangzhou quickly became prosperous trade hubs, attracting merchants from all over the region. The expansion of commerce provided the South with a steady flow of income, allowing southern states to invest in infrastructure and support the arts. The South was not only a commercial center but also a breeding ground for a diverse and rich social structure. A powerful class of merchants and landowners emerged, wielding significant influence in society. Beyond their economic role, these elites became key patrons of culture, encouraging the development of literature, painting, and education. Numerous academies and temples were built, transforming into cultural and educational centers that attracted scholars and artists. Unlike the North, where military power dominated, the South nurtured a well-educated and affluent middle class, which contributed to social stability and fueled cultural growth. Thanks to political stability, the southern states made substantial investments in education and the arts. Educational institutions trained many prominent scholars and artists, who played vital roles in society and became conduits for cultural exchange with other regions. Artwork from this period, especially painting and calligraphy, laid the groundwork for the great art movements of the Song Dynasty. Southern art, characterized by its reverence for nature and humanity, introduced a refined style focused on delicate expression and depth, distinct from the grandeur seen in Northern art. In addition to cultural advancements, religion thrived, particularly Buddhism and Taoism. During the Five Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period, Buddhism was not only a religious force but also a social power, playing a crucial role in stabilizing society and offering spiritual support. Temples and monasteries served as not only places of worship but also as centers of education and culture. Monks and Buddhist communities actively engaged in social work, providing education, medical care, and aid to the poor, establishing a positive image among the people. Meanwhile, Taoism flourished in rural and mountainous areas, where people turned to it for relief from hardship. Relying on Taoist magic and medicine, these beliefs not only provided comfort to the populace but also became integral parts of local culture, strengthening community bonds. The social picture of this era was complex and multi-layered. In the north, the populace endured harsh conditions under the rule of warlords, frequently conscripted for military service and heavily taxed. Peasants and laborers, suffering under exploitation, often revolted, adding to the tension and instability. In contrast, the South enjoyed cultural prosperity, with festivals, religious events, and artistic activities woven into the fabric of daily life, promoting harmony and unity among the Southern communities. The Five Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period left an indelible lesson on the necessity of unity and centralized power for subsequent dynasties. The chaotic state of the North impressed upon the Song Dynasty the importance of control and cohesion. Upon ascending, the Song centralized power, implementing robust reforms to curb the power of military commanders and establish a tightly regulated administration. Learning from the pitfalls of decentralization, the Song Dynasty built a unified and stable government that would endure for over 3 centuries. Although a period marked by warfare and division, the Five Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms also fostered significant cultural and intellectual contributions. Literature, visual arts, and architectural achievements from this era became symbols of China's cultural diversity and creativity, far more than just a transitional phase. This period proved to be a crucible for artistic and intellectual innovation, paving the way for the Song Dynasty's cultural renaissance. The values and artistic achievements from this era continue to be remembered and revered in Chinese cultural history. This era concluded with the rise of the Song Dynasty, which, from the start, inherited and developed the cultural and political lessons from the Five Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms to build a unified and lasting empire. The Southern economic and cultural advancements during the Five Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms period provided the foundation for the Song, ushering in a time of great cultural prosperity, transcending all previous divisions and conflicts.